So, when I was born, oh, look at me, I'm just a cute little baby. So anyway, when I was born, was born with a tail, you see. And then when the doctor cut it off, there was like a little nub. At first I'm like, oh dude, what the heck, man? But then after a while, I got attached to that nub, and he and I went on some wacky adventures together. So, yeah, these are the stories about me and my nub. You like the artwork? I did it myself. It's like something out of Van Gogh or something. One day I was driving down the street and my nub was sitting in the front seat with me because he was my navigator. And so basically we got a flat tire. And so we got out, we examined the tire, and this guy he just comes right up to us and he's like, hey man, do you need any help with that flat tire of yours over there? And then my nub was like, no thank you, man, no thank you, we're good, we know how to fix this stuff, man. And then the guy was like, I don't think you know how I can help you. And then I was like, hey man, no, we said no. So we jumped into the car, man. We jumped into the car, and we just drove, man. We just drove. We drove away, kind of hobbling, because we had a flat tire. So then we drove a few miles, and we just stopped again because we had to. We stopped again. We got out to examine the tire, and what do you know? The guy comes back. Hey, do you need any help with that? And then I was like, we already said no. And he said, no, that was my brother back there. And my nub was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, man, go on. We have to get into the front seat. Let's go. We got into the front seat and we just drove, man. We just drove. We drove. And so we went another few miles and we stopped again. And the guy comes back. And then my nub got out and confronted the man. He's like, hey you. Stop following us, man. Stop following us, man. And the guy was just like, whoa, man. What are you talking about, man? And then I was like, you keep following us, man. And my nub was like, yeah, you keep following us. So then the guy was like, oh no, that was my brother and my sister. And my nub's like, oh, well, that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So the guy helped us with the tire, and we're like, thanks, man, what's your name? And he said, oh, I'm Matthew Broderick. And then I was just like, whoa, Matthew Broderick, man, what are you doing all the way out here? And then Matthew Broderick was like, oh, just doing some stuff. Yeah, just doing some stuff. So then I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then my nub agreed with me. Yeah, that makes sense. So then we drove home, and then so I get the key and I unlock the door like this. Unlock. And then who do we find sitting on our couch? Matthew Broderick is naked on our couch. And my nub was like, hey, Matthew Broderick, why are you naked on our couch? And then Matthew Broderick was like, oh, I'm not naked on your couch. You guys are naked. And then I was like, no, I'm pretty sure you're naked. And then he was like, no, you guys are definitely naked. Then my nub was like, Matthew Broderick, you are the one that is naked. So then Matthew Broderick got up and he said, don't I look the fool? So then he left. And then I went to go get some juice out of my fridge. And what do you think I find in my fridge? Well, actually, just some juice. Just some juice, man. So I poured the juice, and then I opened the fridge again, and Matthew Broderick's in there again. And I'm like, Matthew Broderick, why do you keep following us, man? And he was all like, I just thought you guys were cool, so I thought we should just hang out. And then my nub was like, oh, that makes sense to me. And I was like, yeah, that does make sense. So then we hung out, We were quoting Ferris Bueller all night and The Lion King because Matthew Broderick were in both of those feature films. So then we did that all night until the Nub and I fell asleep. We all fell asleep. And then the next morning, the Nub and I, we woke up. We woke up in the middle of nowhere, man. And I'm like, hey, where are we? And my Nub was like, dude, we're in the middle of nowhere. Then I was like, hey, how do you know that we're in the middle of nowhere? And then my Nub just like pointed to the sign and it said, you are in the middle of nowhere. And then I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So we eventually found our way home, and then Matthew Broderick was just lying on our couch. And I'm like, Matthew Broderick, man, why did you leave us in the middle of nowhere, man? And then he was all like, I don't know, I just thought it was fun, I guess, man. I just thought it was fun. So then my nub just he completely flips. He flips out, man, and he's like, Matthew Broderick, get out. That's uncool, man. It's not cool. So Matthew Broderick got up, and he's just like, fine, you want me to leave, man? Fine, I'll leave. So that night, I was laying in my bed. I'm like, hey, Nub. And then my Nub was like, yes. And then I was like, are you awake, Nub? And then my Nub was like, well, I wouldn't have answered if I wasn't awake, so, yes, I am awake. And then I said, do you think that Matthew Broderick's gonna be okay out there all on his own? And then my Nub said, I don't know, Florence. I don't know.